Get ready, racing fans! The most electrifying week in motorsports is back! October 6th to 11th, Oswego Speedway transforms into the Clay Palace, the ultimate battleground for Super Dirt Week. From the thrilling races to the electrifying atmosphere, it's more than a race. It's racing's biggest party. Don't miss out. Super Dirt Week 2025, October 6th through the 11th.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Stephen Fonte and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. All right, we made it to Friday. Stephen Fonte, Paulie Sibilia with you.
I don't know why I just started laughing before you get into the rundown. What if we made Stefan the voice of the station? And we got rid of Jim Cutler, the big voice guy, and Stefan was like the new voice guy.
We don't use him as much anymore. We used to use the big voice all the time for like NFL power rankings and various segments that we did.
I don't know. Maybe that'll be my April Fool's joke this year. People forget it. We'll just have Stefan.
I like it.
I'm coming and record a session with us. All right, go ahead.
I like it a lot. No, I mean we'll set the table and off we go. We've got David Shoemate. He is the voice of Duke football and basketball. He'll join us at 12:30 to preview Syracuse and Duke tomorrow inside the Dome. We've got to get to our match game segment. We've got today's business. We've got our weekly NFL picks, which we skipped last week because you weren't here. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. It's Friday, Paulie.
It is. It's a day before game day. It's a football Friday. I think that's what they call it.
Okay. How you feeling about this game tomorrow?
Good.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm not sold on it.
Without skipping a beat.
Yeah, I'm good. I trust the coaching staff. I think the coaching staff is the reason Syracuse football has improved, and none of them have torn their Achilles or hurt their medullas, which would be more detrimental in a coaching situation. I think they'll be fine.
I tend to agree with you. I really do think the offense is going to be okay tomorrow. I've been going back and forth on this. Like, are the coaches and players, are they just talking up Ricky because that's what they're supposed to do? And it's like they're trying to build up his confidence and whatnot. I think it's genuine. I think genuinely they feel like he can play, and I'm with you in that. I think the coaches make a big difference with this team and with this program and where they are right now. And we saw Jeff Nixon have a ton of success with Kyle McCord. We saw Jeff Nixon have a ton of success with Steve Angeli. There's no reason to believe that he's not going to have a ton of success with Ricky Collins. And Nunzio as the quarterback's coach and Fran, and they know what they're doing. And I'm interested to see what it looks like tomorrow. And again, Vegas is expecting a high-scoring game. Now, who comes out on top, we'll see how it plays out, and it probably comes down to which defense plays better. And I think we were all collectively encouraged by what we saw defensively out of Syracuse last week. Again, gave up a lot of yards, but I have to think that was by design. They gave up 500 yards, but they kept everything in front of them. And we talked about explosive plays last week and not giving up the big play. They gave up 3 to Clemson. You can live with that number. If they give up 3 again tomorrow to Duke, plays of 20 or more yards, I think they're coming out with a win.
Yeah. I tend to think they might be 3 or more against Duke, and you could still win the game because I think that's what Duke is big chunk plays. And you just got to limit them. And I think Ricky Collins is going to be fine. I think they're going to work the offense to his skill set. He's got a powerful arm. He's a big kid, And I think they'll be okay. I don't know. Will they miss a beat? Yeah, it might take a couple weeks to get him help get him rolling in the offense, but they'll take it slow.
You look back to the first game of the season against Tennessee, and Steve Angeli was still trying to figure things out and settle into the role, and he made some mistakes, and one of those mistakes was a sack fumble that got taken back the other way for a touchdown, and Syracuse never really recovered from that. They fell down 17-0. They lost the game. I do think that we should expect a few mistakes like that out of Ricky Collins. Hopefully, it's not multiple mistakes. He's going to make a mistake or two. He hasn't started a game in 3 years. So I think that, you hope that if he makes a bad decision throwing the football, that maybe, the Duke defensive back drops it and it's not an interception, or, he gets away with a mistake or two, because they're going to happen. It's not going to be perfect, in his first start.
Let me ask you something. When we walked away from that Tennessee game, all of us Monday morning quarterbacks walked away thinking that Yassine Willis was going to run the ball for 1 billion yards, and that was going to be their offense this year. And then, right now we're upset because they lost the leading
Sure.
He's second now, but the leading passer in the country.
Yeah, and I think that it comes back to Jeff Nixon will take what the defense gives you. And I think we saw in that Tennessee game, they threw the ball a lot in the first half. When did they come back? It was when they started going to the ground game. They found some success. Willis was able to run the football. He had the 3 touchdowns. They creeped their way back into that game. They couldn't overcome the 17-0 hole to start. But that's a case of the offensive staff adjusting to what the defense was giving them. They found success running the football. But this team wants to throw, and we've heard Fran say that several times in the past, that they want to be a throwing team.
They do. They also, I think they want to win more, and if that means that running the ball a ton is going to get you the wins, that's what they'll do. Of course.
And again, I think, with Duke, they have shown that they give up big plays themselves. That's why I think the over-under is as high as it is that this may turn into a track meet, and it may come down to which team can get that final stop, in the fourth quarter. And again, I was encouraged by the defensive effort out of SU last week, and I realized Clemson is struggling on offense, but they've still got, game-changing players on that side of the field, and they got Antonio Williams back, and Syracuse still, for the most part, was able to limit those big plays and hold them in check and kept them in the 20s. And again, if they keep Duke in the 20s, I think they're winning this game. If it's low 30s, it gets a little more dicey. But if they can keep this in the 20s, I think they're winning.
Another thing that people are not putting into the Angeli story is none of the receivers are hurt, right?
Jonte Cook he's listed as questionable this week, but actually Tyshawn Russell is likely out. So they do have 2 guys who are banged up, but yeah.
Okay, but the receivers made Angeli look good a lot. You don't get the gloves.
Sure.
Yep. Without earning them, and they catch
Justice Ross Simmons, Darryl Gill. They're both. They're out there.
They catch everything. I mean, not every pass has been perfect from Angeli, and they caught everything. And so, I'm optimistic. I'm not like over the hill. I think they'll figure it out.
I think you look at a lot of the projections out there now, the statistical analysis of where Syracuse is, and going into the season, the over-under was 5.5, and a lot of the statistical formulas out there have Syracuse at about 7 wins right now, based on the fact that they beat Clemson and kind of where they are now. It's hard to know if those statistical analysis, if it takes into account their quarterback not being there. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs, the various factors they consider, but where they are from a data standpoint, my guess is it doesn't take into account that Steve Angeli's out, but from a data standpoint, they're looking at about 7 wins right now, according to the experts.
And me.
And you.
I am an expert. And you know what, Steve, the fan base, it's different right now with the fan base. I think the fan base feels a lot like we do, that it's the coaching staff. The coaches show this past few weeks.
Last night?
Yeah, just the past few weeks. It's been packed.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this 26 years through a lot of coaches. Coach P didn't leave his office. We had to do the show at his office. But everybody else, Greg Robinson did it out of a little studio. The other coaches, though, since I've been here, Schaefer, Marone,
Dino.
There's been times it's just me, Matt, Dino, and that's it, sitting in the restaurant.
Bartender.
Yeah, sitting in the restaurant talking football. And it's bought in, and it has been packed every week down at Myers Creek. Like, packed.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, even our Chad, who doesn't show up to anything we do, shows up
good
for that. And it's a lot of fun. They give away a lot of prizes, So there's something really different about what's happening at Syracuse football than there ever been in my in my life.
Well, it goes back to what I think we talked about this off air yesterday, but you said to me, you turned to me yesterday, you said, so do you extend him right now? And I mean, I'm sold. So whatever you need to do, I'm sold that he's the guy. And I've said that a few times over the course of the last year, that if this guy can't fix Syracuse football or get Syracuse football to a certain level, I don't know that Syracuse football is ever getting back to that level, because I think he is special, and I think that I think he's the guy to take this program to where everybody around here wants it to go.
My username is Big Poppy. Says I've only been to 3 football games, and 2 of them have been this year.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
It's different, and that's why I kind of feel the same way that they do. I think they'll be okay with Ricky Collins. I mean, like, who are we to say anything right now? You got a kid who got recruited by LSU playing quarterback. Like, what? You know, like, we're worried about that at Syracuse right now
because the kid from Notre Dame got hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Because the other thing is like Dino or Fran says it all the time. He says we're just not there yet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the fan base should be there yet either, where you expect to win or any of that stuff. But we've never had a Ricky Collins on the bench. You know, they had Tommy DeVito. That didn't pan out under Dino's watch, but. It's a good thing to be a Syracuse football fan right now.
He said something the other day that stood out to me, and all the conversations run together. I can't remember if he said it to us or if he said it during the Monday press conference, but he said, wait until next year. Once we get the class of 2026 here, we're going to be as talented as anybody in the conference. And I thought that really stood out to me, because Fran does tell it like it is, right? He's very transparent. He's very upfront and honest. And he's the first to tell you if something isn't stacking up to where it needs to be. And for him to go out on a limb like that and say, once 2026 arrives, talent isn't going to be the issue. We're going to be as talented as anyone in this conference.
Right.
I thought that was very interesting.
Because he's going to have 2 years of the guys that were here.
Right.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Someone says that Garrett Schrader was SEC. Yeah, but there wasn't anybody. We saw when Schrader got hurt, there was nobody else behind him.
Well, and I would say this too, LA Orange, is that, yes, Garrett Schrader was SEC, but by the time they got him, he was playing receiver.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can compare the two. I mean, the comparison is they both were from the SEC, but
Schrader was fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you.
But Ricky Collins was the backup to Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
And Garrett Schrader was playing receiver when they got him. So, it was Dan Villari was at Michigan, but he's a tight end now. This is different. I mean, these guys are quarterbacks from Notre Dame and LSU that they got, and so we'll see where it goes.
I'm struggling with call manager
I can see
right
that.
now, Steve.
I was trying to buy you
Let's
some
go
time.
to Tony in Syracuse.
Tony, what's up?
Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, Paul, I back you up on what you were saying about Ricky Collins. I mean, we don't want to see Stephen Gilly get hurt. It's not like you asked for that when you're talking about Ricky Collins coming in, because now you want him to, go out and throw for 400 yards, 5 TDs, and take a W.
Yeah. When I say it, it's kind of like it probably won't happen, but I want Ricky Collins to be just as good, if not better, than Ed Jelly was.
I agree. And the funny thing about it is I don't know how many quarterbacks. I could go Google it, but I don't have time because I'm running all over this county. But I know we got quarterbacks coming in. And who's to say that the young kid won't come in and all of a sudden you might be wondering about him. So, I mean, he's got talent coming in and he's not afraid. Next man up, and these guys are playing. And I don't know about you, but I want to just real quick, culture change is going on with, who he's bringing in, the staff up there. But don't forget, it's also happening with the fans, because I would have left every single game this year if it was in the past. I stayed for all of them. And the way you look at this team, you can't turn them off even if they're down.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I think we learned that with the UConn game, right? A lot of people were upset in the third quarter, and then midway through the fourth, they flipped that switch, and things got exciting pretty quick.
I got one more thing for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is baseball. So I'm a Yankee fan, and I'm watching teams on both sides look back at the umpire like, you sure that was a ball or strike? I'm just wondering if Somebody, just for the hell of it, starts in the last 3 games, starts tapping his helmet but doesn't say anything. Will you get thrown out of the game for that?
I doubt it, but that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, umps will give them a little bit of a longer leash as the playoffs approach. I mean, these are big games, right? And there's so many teams with a lot to play for. Both the Yankees and Mets have a lot to play for this last weekend. Yankees are trying to find a way to win the division. Mets are trying to find a way to win that wild card. Did you see the end of that Reds-Pirates game yesterday? So the Reds are a game back of the Mets. The catch at the wall, did you happen to see the highlight of that?
Steve.
So 2 out, there's 1 out in the 9th. And it was a 2-1 game. Pirates hit one to the wall. It was clearly a home run, and the right fielder for the Reds just brought it back. They end up winning the game. So they stay a game back of the Mets. But if they own the tiebreaker over the Mets, so if they finish tied, Cincinnati goes. It's an exciting weekend, certainly for baseball. I want to touch on one thing Tony said about the depth, that it's next man up. And I happened to come across this yesterday on social media. Fran was on with Rich Eisen. And, he jokingly said to Rich, Rich brought up the fact that, all right, well, Steve Angeli's not there. You got Ricky Collins. And, his response was, that's why you pay for 2. And I think that's something different. You talk about everything that's different. That is different with this coaching staff, is that they do have the depth. Dino talked all the time about their ones could stack up with the ones of pretty much anybody in the conference. It was when you got past the ones, and he was very honest about that. And Dino struggled, and maybe sometimes he used it as an excuse, the portal, like I can't keep these guys here, they're going other places. Well, Syracuse does have the resources. Now, whatever the reason is, if it's Fran, if it's the money, if it's a combination of the two, whatever the reason may be, they're keeping those guys here now, and they're getting the depth. They're able to pay for 2 quarterbacks so that if one goes down, they do have a backup. So I just wanted to point that out, Paulie, that is different as well.
We've also heard every coach that's ever been here say next man up, and that next man was
right. But I'm saying Dino was very transparent about it, that he, again, he complained about it, and sometimes it sounded like an excuse, but he would say,
he said you couldn't do it, and we believed
right,
him.
Exactly. So that's my point. And now we're seeing Fran Brown do it, and I don't know what the reason is. I would assume the money has something to do with it. There is more money in the program now, and I think Fran with revenue sharing and everything. Go ahead.
I think Fran's such a good recruiter that he gets players to come play for
him. So that's what I was going to say, is that I don't think it's just the money. I think there's the Fran Brown effect as well. Let's go to Mark in New York City. Hey, Mark.
Hey guys, happy Friday.
Same to you.
Just one comment I want to make, Steve. I heard you talking about the UConn game. I was thinking about that UConn game, and that was only our second game of the season, and I think Steve Angeli was still figuring out the offense and still getting used to his rhythm. And if you remember in the first half of that game, we went for it on 4th down a few times and we didn't convert. And, I equate that to now Ricky Collins going out this week and is going to still start to get used to that offense. But I think we found something in Trip Woody, and I think there's a lot of confidence there. And I'm not in it to go for field goals, but I think that's going to help a lot this weekend, that if we get to those 4th down conversions that were kind of deep into the territory, that I think we might, utilize our field goal unit a little more, and I think that'll help get some points on the board. Yeah,
I think that 49-yarder that he kicked last weekend certainly helps. The confidence of what?
I didn't know. You just made that noise. Was that a kick motion, or were you telling me to turn him down?
I was worried he was going to hang up. Oh. So you didn't seem like you were paying attention, so I was just getting your attention that his call was over.
I get it. I know when to hang up a phone call.
Were you paying attention?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you just described he kicked, and you went like this, and I go, is he telling me to turn it down or a kick?
I just didn't want Mark to hang up. Mark, as always, we appreciate you calling in. I'm not sure Paulie was listening to you, but I agree with you. I think that
he had fine points.
I think that the 49-yarder that he kicked against Clemson gives him some more confidence, probably gives the coaches some more confidence in him, and you're right, they may utilize him more. I did ask, by the way, I had Ricky Brumfield on the Orange Nation TV show at the beginning of the week. I asked him what Trip Woody's range is, and just so everybody knows, he said 53 yards and in. He said 53 yards and in, he's pretty accurate. Once you get over 53 yards, the accuracy, wavers a little bit. So just as you're watching the game, and to Mark's point there, if you're wondering, how deep can he kick it from, that seems to be the kind of the line of, the line that they draw it at is 53 yards.
All right. Fascinating. Inside information from Steve Infante. Can we call it the Infante line? So when they get to field goal range, because you told us?
Let's take a time out.
That'd be awesome if that became
Go back
a thing.
to daydreaming or doing whatever
I wasn't.
you were doing.
I was responding to the YouTube
You were
chat.
doing something.
Yes, the YouTube chat asked a question. Player pager asked a question, and I was responding to it.
Okay.
I was multitasking. You guys are talking kicking, and I'm over here talking to the
So
chat.
you agree you weren't 100% paying attention. I was just, it was a subtle hand movement by me.
Dude, that was not subtle.
I was trying to get your attention.
I thought you were going to hit me.
I probably should have. Let's take a timeout. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Burdick Toyota, Burdick Lexus, and Burdick BMW are proud supporters of game day radio coverage of Syracuse football. We are the pulse of the orange.
What do you think of
ESPN
the
Radio
Infante
97.7 and 100.1.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples home and office hot deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
Give me a second, LA Orange. Jesus. I was talking to Steve. What? Oh. Oh, dinner was good. I get the Cuban there. It may be the best Cuban I ever had in my life. It's very good. SOS, Syracuse Orthopedics could bring the Infante line. They've crossed the Infante line. It actually should be our old producer, Mike, the Mikey P line.
Yeah.
Because he can't kick. He's good from inside the end zone in. He's going to kick it straight up. Cal Raleigh, his team...
Didn't we have Jackson on a couple weeks ago and he said it was going to be Judge? I realized Raleigh hit some home runs since then, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, how come we don't do the SOS house call anymore?
We will. Give it time.
So, Michael Antonio, I don't know how long you've been listening to this show, but my nickname, I shouldn't even tell you that. I brought this up on the show before, though. My social studies teacher, 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that at Bishop Ludden, social studies, he used to call, my nickname in the class was Infanticide. He would call me
That's not funny from a Catholic.
He would call me Infanticide.
Jesus.
I know, right?
Michael, Milk Apples in our YouTube chat says Raleigh should be MVP. All-time year for a catcher. Correct. Will you just tell him your stupid DJ name so we can end that nonsense? And when does that bit run out?
Take it as my grave.
I'm about to end it. I've had enough.
You've made some hints on the air before. Several hints.
Priest or gangster. Cracking infanticide jokes.
He wasn't a priest. But
would I end it for $500? You're goddamn right I'd end it for $500. I'll do it right now.
You better split it with me.
Yeah. Yes, I will. I'll go to jail for money. I'm taking $500 right now. I like the Mariners to win the World Series. Said that yesterday. Zach in YouTube.
YouTube chiming in.
I'm going to drop that bomb one day. Steve's going to make me mad. I've actually said his actual name on the air multiple times. And nobody caught it. I'm that good. I'm that good. Welcome back to Orange Nation. 1988 one-hit wonders. Steve, do you remember this one?
I do.
I think this is, they say that auto-tune became popular with, I Believe by Cher. This song's got it, right?
I think so.
This, definitely, I can say without any hesitation that this went on a tape to a girl.
Yeah.
For me.
It's a good song.
It had this and Casanova by Levert on it.
Another good one.
Yeah, I was trying.
Is Levert a one-hit wonder?
That's a good question. I would say yes, because the band Levert, but I think Gerald Levert also had hits.
Yeah, right.
So.
Interesting. All right. We got to make this a short segment. We've got David Shoemate set to join us in a few minutes here to talk Duke football. Just to update everybody on the injury report, Fran mentioned today on Gomez and Company this morning on TK99 that Deuce is considered questionable. Derek McDonald is likely out. Tyshawn Russell likely out for this game. Chris Peel listed as probable. That's good news. You don't want to be down Chris Peel for this game, certainly. Devin Grant listed as questionable. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
That when he got hurt against Tennessee, I think we all, I don't want to speak for you, Paulie, I thought his season might be over, just the way that he was reacting to it, how much pain he was in, the fact he had tears streaming down his face as he was walking into the locker room. I thought that he got some bad news in the tent. But for him to come back a few games later, he was awesome against Clemson. Let's get a quick phone call in here. We've got Chuck in North Syracuse up next. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to ask about, you think Luke Carney and this Jakari Williams are up to the task if anything, God forbid, happens to Ricky Collins?
I will answer you honestly. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they don't get in that situation, but I don't know.
Got to hold your breath.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's probably a significant drop-off. Again, if it was a three-man competition, you would have heard about it, right? It was definitely a two-man competition in August.
And the quote you said on the Rich, that's why you pay two.
Right.
They didn't say we pay three.
Right, exactly, right. That's why you pay two. So I'm not saying, like, they're obviously talented young men, and you hope they can develop or blossom into something, but I think right now, if you said Ricky's going to get hurt against Duke, knock on wood, that doesn't happen.
Who is two on the depth chart?
I mean, I would assume it's Carney because we saw him briefly in the Colgate game, but I don't know that. I will call that up when we take a timeout here. I'll look at who's two on the depth chart this week. My assumption is it's probably Carney. We'll hit a timeout. We've got David Shoemate, voice of the Duke Blue Devils, set to join us on the other side. As we
he calls basketball too, Steve, so maybe we could ask him a few questions about your favorite team.
Ask him about Greg Paulus?
Yeah. Oh, your favorite players, the Hurleys.
Oh, yes. Yes, Bobby Hurley, my favorite player of all time. All right, we're back after this on ESPN Radio.
I told you I parked next to him once, right, Bobby Hurley?
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that, yeah.
What an honor for him. He's bigger than I expected. You're a number two. You're not. You don't even play like one. You just are one. Thank you, Michael Antonio. Don't come at me, bro. Milk, love Mission Bay. I was in North County. I grew up in on the border of Oceanside and Vista, way inland. Yo mama. Good one. Greeny has no idea who I am. Why would Greeny know who I am, Alphabet?
He still doesn't know because you stiffed him.
He's constipated.
Who?
Deuce. Get it? El Camino Real. That was the mall. Was there? We would go to the mall in Carlsbad at El Camino Real.
The depth chart this week says Luke Carney or Jakari Williams.
Awesome.
Carney is listed first, but alphabetically he comes first. So I have to think it's Carney, though.
FLA. They chant that at Padres games. I believe El Camino Real is the road, if I am right, it's the road that connects all the missions, all the Catholic missions in California. But I could be wrong. Correct. I am correct. Thank you.
What?
Dude, I tell this story all the time. I was an altar boy at the mission, and it was terrifying. I was at the mission San Luis Rey. Oh, my God. We had to go out and clean the graveyard. It was...
Clean it?
Yes.
Like, how did that involve?
Sweeping and picking up the trash, because it's open to the public, and people... And then there's the mausoleum where all the priests are buried. And then I told you they had a skull and crossbones on the gate. And I was like, why the hell is that? And it used to scare me. And then I realized it was a prop for a Disney movie that they filmed there, and they just never took it off the door. Yes, Ryan Mullen. I wore the get up, yeah. And the old, like, those churches are so old, and the confessionals were creepy with a candle burning in them. It was freaking nuts. I didn't like it. Yes, I did the reverse Karate Kid. Were you an altar boy? Yeah, that was a dumb question. That was the dumbest question I ever asked. Probably still are.
What?
You probably still are. You show up in a lot. Steve. Ding, ding, ding. 1988 one-hit wonders, Steve. How old were you in 1988?
I was 12.
I was 16. I'm old. This is Pump Up the Volume. Remember that?
Oh, of course. This was like a really... The extended cut to this song was like 8 minutes long or something.
Okay, so my 80s show coming up this weekend is the biggest selling 12-inch remixes of all time. And this is like number 7 on it.
Is that right?
Yeah, New Order, Blue Monday is the number 1. This is fascinating, right?
Yes.
Speaking of blue, let's talk Blue Devils football, Steve.
Let's talk Blue Devils football as we bring on the voice of the Blue Devils, David Shoemate. Just to finish our conversation from the last segment, people were asking who is listed as the backup quarterback this week for Syracuse. So Ricky Collins, obviously the starter. It's Luke Carney or Jakari Williams on the depth chart. Again, my guess is Carney would be the next guy to go in since we saw him against Colgate. But hopefully, knock on wood, SU fans won't have to deal with that. As we bring on David Shoemate. David, thanks so much for joining us. You know, the home games for Syracuse were kind of an afterthought when the schedule came out. We looked at everybody they had to play on the road. This is a pretty big game inside the Dome tomorrow between a couple of teams 1-0 in conference play.
Yeah, no question. Thanks for having me on. And obviously, I think it has more juice after what happened last week. Certainly with what Syracuse did down at Clemson, just dominating in Death Valley, and with Duke getting a win to start conference play over NC State, you start to think about the possibilities, I'm sure, on both sides of this, with both teams 1-0 in ACC play. It's one of the bigger games in the league, I think, this weekend, and two teams that feel like they have a real shot, to get to Charlotte, albeit each with some bumps in non-conference play. But I think they both feel really good about where they're at. We had Wes Durham on our show a couple days ago, and he brought up the stat that we've brought up a few times since then, and that is Duke is averaging better than 7 yards per play. We know they've got a really dynamic quarterback in Darian Mensah. What else has stood out to you on that side of the ball that has allowed Duke to score all these points and rack up all these yards? Yeah, to put a stat to what you're talking about, the explosiveness has been there, and kind of last year, a lot of people thought about Duke's offense was kind of home run or nothing, right? The long ball and stuff like that. But this offense is actually more explosive. They got something like 26 plays of 20 or more yards so far after having 56 all of last year. So you can do the math. They're on a much better trajectory in that respect. And I think it goes to just all the different weapons you have to contend with when you're going up against this offense. Cooper Barcade is the leading receiver transfer that comes in from Harvard. They've got a speed guy and Andrew Anthony. They've got a really good slot guy. And Quayshawn Brown, Samir Higgins provide some experience. And that's just the receiving room. Jeremiah Hazley's back healthy at tight end. Landon King, a transfer, comes in. He's given some depth to that room as well. And the running back room has been really interesting to watch. They started the year really with 4 backs and a rotation, and Jacquez Moore has been the lead back. He's gotten the start, but it's really been the emergence of a freshman and Nate Shepard, who's looked really good, and a transfer from Appalachian State, and Anderson Castle, who was the ACC running back of the week a year ago. So it just presents so many problems. There's so much you have to defend with this offense that it creates so many openings, because it's not like there's a single guy or two to take away. There's just so many different ways that they can hurt you. You look at their schedule, David, and, Elon beat them easily. Illinois is a really tough team. They lost that one. We talked about last week how, Duke was able to rally and beat NC State. The one outlier seems to be that Tulane game. And I know that, Tulane must have been playing inspired football, given the fact that the ties between the two programs and losing their quarterback and so on and so forth. What happened, though, in that Tulane game that Duke kind of stubbed its toe in week 3? They got behind. 24-3 was the score at one point, battled back to get it within a touchdown game. And I think on one hand, you have to give some credit to Tulane. That they threw out some stuff that they hadn't shown on tape through the first 2 weeks of the season. You mentioned the importance of that game to them. And also, you have to tip your cap to Jake Retzloff, their quarterback, the transfer that came in from BYU, hadn't been there very long. In his first couple of games, the accuracy hadn't been great, but he was lights out that night and really hurt Duke on the ground with his legs and many different facets in the quarterback run game. And to me, that's going to be one of the fascinating things to see tomorrow. You hear about Ricky Collins and the mobility he brings to the position. How much is that going to be used? Because Tulane certainly had success in that realm against the Blue Devils in that game. And some of it was, like I said, got behind early, battled back, but the hole was just too deep that they had dug. And you mentioned that the Illinois game, and look, some of this is really obvious. Duke turned it over 5 times in that game against Illinois, had an early turn that game against Tulane, and a week ago against NC State, they had no turnovers and forced 4 of them. So, in some respects, you can draw a pretty straight line to how cleanly Duke has played to whether or not they've won or lost, and that's obviously going to be really important tomorrow, too. What do you make of this defense? We've had a few people on this week, and they point to both teams should be able to move the ball tomorrow. Both teams should be able to score points. It may come down to, which defense comes up with a big stop in the fourth quarter. How would you assess the Duke defense and how it's performed to this point? Yeah, statistically, it's not where they want it to be, right, from a points given up standpoint. And third down and long has been something they've been working on for most of the year, and at times has been a problem. But if you look at the pieces and if you look at some of the individual plays, you see flashes of what this defense was a year ago, what a Manny Diaz and Jonathan Packey, who's the coordinator on the defensive side, what their defenses typically look like. Duke is still right there statistically in terms of TFLs per game, top 10 in the country, and sacks are right there as well. It's a defense that wants to play aggressive and be disruptive. They have given up some big plays, and that's certainly something they want to clean up. But if you look at the front 4, I'd put it up against any team in the ACC with the guys that come off the edge. Was Wesley Williams and B.J. Anthony, who leads the ACC in sacks, and they're stout on the interior with Aaron Hall and Josiah Green, the transfer that comes in as well. Dealing with some injuries at the linebacker position. You guys have probably already covered it. Nick Morris is out for the year. They're starting middle linebacker. He went down in a game against NC State. They're also going to be without Kendall Johnson. So likely to see some younger guys rotate in there. Luke Mergat is likely going to start as the middle linebacker, but they've got some young guys, highly touted recruit. Bradley Gompers would likely get some run, Elliott Shopper as well. So that'll be interesting to see. And on the back end, their best player is Chandler Rivers. He's an All-American caliber corner, so they need him to have a big impact tomorrow as well. So it'll be interesting to see, because you see pieces of this being a really good defense, but at times this year they have had their challenges.
You mentioned the stats maybe not where they want them defensively. Another area that maybe the stats aren't where they want them is the red zone offense. 16 trips to the red zone, 12 scores to show for it. They're ranked 106th nationally in red zone offense. Is there anything that you're seeing once they get inside the 20 that is prohibiting them from cashing in as much as they would like to and cashing in with touchdowns as much as they would like to?
I think in the first handful of games, this is something Manny Diaz talked about. It's not me. Is they wanted their run game to be a little more efficient when they got in the red zone, and that was markedly improved in the game against NC State, where they were much better in the red zone. But there hasn't been like an individual thing you can point to, because against Illinois, they had some opportunities go away from them, including the game against Elon because of turnovers. And then down at Tulane, it was some issues in the kicking game and special teams that bit them in the red zone. So there's been some things they have to clean up, and they seem to have found that in the game against NC State, which was by far their cleanest game of the season. And you saw with the 45 points in the red zone execution where it wanted to be. And that's been kind of Manny Diaz's mantra with this team so far this year is, look, it's not the start they wanted, 2-2. There are lofty expectations inside that building going into the year, but they felt like everything that was going wrong was within their control, which was encouraging at the same time despite the record, and they kind of showed that against NC State when they cleaned things up. They were kind of doing what they wanted to against the Wolfpack.
Curious to get your take and your thoughts on this Syracuse team. We watch every second of every game, and we're obviously hyper focused on this team. As you kind of take a step back and look at Syracuse from the outside looking in, what stands out to you about this team?
The receivers are lights out. I mean, it's incredible to watch some of the catches they make, the separations they get, and take your pick, right, whether it be the tight end or the top three wideouts. Considering everything that Syracuse had to replace from a year ago, it's incredibly impressive. And Jelly is awfully good. I don't want to take anything away from him. So I do think that receiving core is something the Blue Devils are going to really have to contend with tomorrow, because it is special in this passing attack that, last year led the country. You bring in a new quarterback over from Notre Dame, people are expecting a step back, and it's like 1-4, right, nationally. Yeah. So Collins is obviously really good. So the passing attack, to me at least, is really what jumps off, and then you don't often see a 17-year-old playing corner. So that, to me, also is very impressive what Samuel's done earlier in the year.
Yeah, and he is really, really good. I think we were all kind of skeptical, too. Like, really, this kid should be in high school? And he's lived up to the hype. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be a sold-out crowd tomorrow. I'm sure you know that. It's Parents' Weekend, Family Weekend here at Syracuse, and the place is going to be full. It gets loud, as you know, in the dome and the way that the sound reverberates off the roof and so on and so forth. Are you aware of anything different that Manny Diaz maybe has done this week in terms, to get the guys ready for what the environment may look like and sound like, I guess, more importantly, come tomorrow?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, one, because the last time I was there, the last time actually the Blue Devils played in a dome was in 2020. It was not loud. There was nobody there. It was a very surreal experience when Duke went up there during the COVID season. So it'll be nice to have a full crowd in there. But to get back to what you're talking about, they have been having the offense work in the indoor facility. Most of the week, Manny Diaz has talked about this, and pumping as much noise as they can in there to get a feel for what it's like, to do the nonverbal communication, but also, the coach comm communication to the quarterback and everything that goes on with and his helmet. So they've been doing a lot of that to work on the execution, expecting it to be loud. And as you said, the way the noise reverberates in that building, also worth noting that is the last time the Blue Devils played in a dome was in 2020. But as you guys know, there were no fans in the building.
You brought up that you guys struggled against Tulane because you didn't have – they hit you with things that they didn't put on tape. This week you're going against a team with a starting quarterback that even Syracuse hasn't seen on tape. How are they preparing for Ricky with Angeli out?
No, I mean, I think it's you kind of got to be ready for the unexpected, right? And I think both teams have to deal with that in certain respects when those two are matching up, because I mentioned with some of the new pieces at linebacker that the Blue Devils are going to be rolling with that Syracuse hasn't technically seen. So there's definitely going to be a chess match in the game with the two coordinators offensively for Syracuse and defensively for the Blue Devils. And to me, that is going to be interesting, particularly early in the game, if Syracuse comes out swinging or if there's a feeling out process, because one thing that the stats don't really tell you, and Yasin Willis is really, really good, and I thought he set the tone in the game down at Clemson, but through the first 4 games, the Blue Devils have been really good against first and second down runs, and I think that'll be interesting to see early on how things set up, and then if you get into a third and long situation, how the Blue Devils execute in that respect, because they've given some of those up, and obviously Syracuse has been pretty good at converting third down. So to me, that chess match is going to be interesting because, as you mentioned, the unknowns and how you prepare for that and how you kind of have to work on your base stuff just to make sure you're playing sound because you don't know what's coming.
All right, David, with all that being said, you kind of touched on it a little bit there, but I guess finish this sentence. Duke wins tomorrow if blank.
If they play clean. I think that's a boring way to put it, not the most exciting thing, but I think that's the case for both of these teams, right? I mean, way under the hood, and that win for Syracuse at Clemson, forced 2 turnovers, didn't turn it over. I mean, that is how you went on the road, and I think the Blue Devils know that you got to go, not have penalties and not turn the football over. You don't want your defense having to defend a short field all day, and evidenced by, look, in Duke's 2 losses, they outgained Illinois and Tulane, but a lot of that's because you're coming from behind, you're throwing a lot long fields, and last week, if you look at the total yardage, you could say, NC State outgained Duke, but a lot of that was because NC State was having to do long fields and also having to throw it a bunch to try to get back into the football game. So you don't want to be in that position of having to throw it 50, 60 times because you're trying to play catch-up. So to me, playing clean is of the utmost importance tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned Syracuse, and you're spot on. Syracuse played a clean game against Clemson. The other thing I would add to that from an SU perspective, and something for you to keep your eye on tomorrow, Syracuse tackled well against Clemson. They did not tackle well against Tennessee, and that the game kind of got away from them a little bit because they missed some tackles, couldn't get off the field, and Tennessee took advantage. They definitely reversed that against Clemson, so that'll be interesting to see tomorrow. Something we're going to keep our eye on is how well Syracuse tackles against this Duke offense. David, thanks so much for the time. We do appreciate it.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
All right, David Shoemate, voice of Duke football. He'll be in the house tomorrow as Syracuse takes on the Blue Devils. 12 o'clock kick. And again, really important game. I mean, I know Virginia plays Florida State this week. It might be the second most important game in the conference this week when you look at the slate overall.
And it might be the most important game of the season for Syracuse.
Yeah, could be.
Because if you win this, you're sky high and your confidence is up.
And then everything truly is on the table.
Yes.
Everybody was saying that coming out of last week, but without Angeli, it was like, is everything still on the table? You win this one, and that feels like everything's still on the table.
And then you know what I say next week at SMU? Also, it gives me the opportunity to say, this might be the biggest game of the season. And I could keep saying that.
Keep saying that
as long as they win.
And then we can't delete the ACC championship emails that we get. We got to keep them in our inbox just in case. And
yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Should I start growing the mustache again? Bring that back? Maybe get us to 10 wins?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I think I'm going to do it. What do you get? Well, put a poll up out there. Should Paulie grow a mustache until Syracuse loses?
But it didn't work, so you should try something else.
Dude, they got 10 wins.
But they didn't make it to the ACC title game.
That wasn't the point.
Okay.
It was to win a lot of games. I'm not here. My mustache doesn't win national titles.
That's what I'm saying. You got to find something else. Find something else that will win.
What about
titles.
Maynard G. Crab? That's an old person reference. like a soul patch.
Whatever you want to do. It's your face.
I used to rock a soul patch in the 90s. Like I may have the best soul patch in the history of mankind.
Bold statement.
It may be the greatest.
Okay.
It goes Maynard G. Krebs, who 99.9% of the world has no idea who he is. Maynard G. Krebs, Paulie Sibilia, rank 1-2.
You're number 2
in soul patches.
And it's a close second too. It's 1 and 1A. All right, let's hit a timeout here. We'll check in on the market. We'll wrap up hour number 2 next on ESPN Radio.
All right, I'll grow a soul patch. Soul patches grow until they lose. Tool. Thank you. Hey, Sport Boy knows who he is. Bob Denver. Dobie Gillis. Michael Antonio knows who he is. Michael Antonio, I've told this story before. My mom would not allow me to watch Three's Company, but my older brothers could, so I had to go upstairs and watch Nick at Night. on a black and white TV, and I had to watch Dobie Gillis. Well, my brothers got to watch that sex-riddled Three's Company show.
Sex-riddled?
Yes, that's why I wasn't allowed to watch it. That is you probably were not allowed to watch Three's Company either. Hell no. Oh, I thought you were calling me a tool. That is a different Maynard. What's the chat? What's the YouTube chat saying? People want me to grow the mustache again. I don't have a lady in my life. I will do the soul patch. If you don't want to hear about me being a gassy old man, please tune out. So, Steve.
Do I? But I can't tune out?
No.
No.
I'm going to tell you the story.
What do you got?
I left the house this morning and may have passed a little wind, as the kids would say. And I left the house and I got down the street and realized I forgot something.
Yeah.
So I turned around and went back to my house and opened the door, and my whole house smelled violently gross.
Cool story, bro.
And I literally hated myself. I was disgusted with myself. I really I almost called my therapist and said, I have a problem and I hate myself right now. I don't. Yeah, I did. I hotboxed Indy. I thought Indy shit on the floor when I walked in initially.
Michael Antoni asked my favorite show. I had a bunch when I was a kid. I liked Benson a lot. I liked Growing Pains, Family Ties, those kinds of shows. I like Magnum P.I. a lot.
That's an old lady show. But you know what? I used to watch Matlock religiously, and I don't know why. Wonder Years was awesome.
Wonder Years, good show, yeah.
He's for like. So if you ever wondered if a fart smells in the woods, yes, it does. Night and day, Steve. That's if we could tie this into Lee Baldwin and Mike from Lee Baldwin, you could have the after hours buying, and then the day traders, night and day. I'll be sure.
Okay. Whatever you say.
That was a stretch.
That was a stretch. Mike from Lee Baldwin Company joining us now. Mike, how's the market today?
Well, guys, we're positive now. We were down all morning. We had a nice little rally in the last hour. All three major averages are up, led by the Dow up about 300 points. And for Diamond, we're going to go with good old silver and gold, silver and gold. It's not Christmas yet, but both just made all-time highs this week, and they're continuing their strength today after a sell-off yesterday. And our dog, we're going to go with Costco. Costco reported earnings are a little disappointing on their forecast. Stock's almost a $1,000 stock. It's trading down $22 to $921 a share now, so it's only about 2.5%. But they did mention the tariffs are hurting them along with competition from Amazon, so a little bit of a tough go of it for Costco. But the market is up, and hopefully we can hold on and get into the weekend on a positive note and follow through with an orange win tomorrow.
All right.
That would make for a great weekend.
It would make for a great weekend. As always, Mike, we appreciate you coming on, and you enjoy your weekend, all right?
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right, thank you. Lee Baldwin, all the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit leebaldwin.com.
Dan North in our YouTube chat would like to know if you can grow a soul patch also right along with me, Steve, or would you need
I would need permission
from your boss?
I would need permission.
We would be cool. Like if we had soul patches.
Like 20, 30 years ago.
People would be like, look at these guys. They're stuck in the 90s. What if I put an earring in? And wear an earring until Syracuse loses again. Is that funnier than?
Oh, I like that. Well, you wouldn't be able to see it though because you have headphones on.
No, I mean, but it doesn't matter on this if they see me. It's I have to go out in public with it. So, what do you think? Soul patch or I wear an earring until hopefully the hole's still there. But yeah, it was like a couple years ago when I wore my Halloween costume.
Oh man,
both.
That's what I was thinking. It was both.
Just stuck in the 90s.
Just lean into it. Just lean into it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll wear an earring and grow a soul patch until Syracuse wins the game starting tonight.
Till they lose.
Till they lose.
Till they lose. Okay. You said till they win. But
sorry.
Yes. Okay. Just want to make sure. I want to make sure what we're rooting for.
Steve, also in the chat while we're in our nonsense segment here, we've talked a lot of sports this week.
It's exhausting for you?
Yeah. People were asking what TV shows you watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And you said Growing Pains, and I think it was Michael Antonio in our chat that said Real People. I have not heard that show name in 30 years.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. What was it?
It was this show where just like, it was kind of before its time. They would have people that did weird things, and they would just show them on TV, and like 4 panelists would talk about what they did. Like, here's Sarah Purcell talking to the guy who somehow can spit ping pong balls at the wall. You know,
is it kind of like America's Got Talent?
Yeah, but they traveled to like the actual person's house and interviewed them and talked to them. It was a weird show, and I kind of like it.
I don't think I ever saw that. I was not familiar with it.
Yeah, it was probably late 70s.
Okay.
It was kind of like Ripley's Believe It or Not, but they went and interviewed the people too. Battle of the Network Stars, that was fun too. Dinosaurs, I loved that show. That was right in my high school years. Someone said, would I shave my head? I will shave my head.
College football playoff?
If they make the playoff. All right?
Okay.
Steve doesn't have to shave his head.
I don't think I'd be allowed to. That's my excuse.
It's coming naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wait a few years.
Yeah, 2035.
Wait a few years.
Alf is a weird. Did you watch Alf?
I did.
I watched an episode of that like 2 years ago, like during the pandemic, whenever that was.
More than 2 years ago, but yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird show now. Like he's hitting on the mom.
Yeah.
He's trying to eat the cat.
Yeah.
It's two separate things.
Very weird show.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's hit a timeout. We've got hour number 1 in the books here. We'll bring in Giovanni Heater in hour number 2. We've got match game. We've got today's business.
A goatee, which is also very 90s.
Yes.
And we can ask him maybe if that's a thing coming back.
He pulls it off. He's a young guy. He pulls it off well.
But like that was cool. Like or late. Well, like I had a goatee when Syracuse won the national championship.
Yeah.
Are they coming back?
20 plus years ago. We can ask him.
All right.
Next.
I met Tom Green at the national championship game. I think I told you guys that story too. I did shots of Jaeger bombs with him. Sometimes the texture of the cold foam is crunchy, which is weird. Remote control. Who was the hot chick on that? Carrie Werthers? Was that her name?
What's remote control?
It was Colin Quinn. Yeah, it's like...
That doesn't sound good.
It's not crunchy. It just doesn't dissolve, if that makes sense.
That sounds concerning.
She was super hot, and she was on MTV all the time. Carrie Werher. Where her now? Her. You don't remember her?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the show, though. What was it?
Remote Control. It was like a game show on MTV.
Game show.
She's still getting it done. She's kind of got a... Oh, that was in 2014, but I'm sure she's still pretty. She's kind of got a Susanna Hoffs look.
Yeah, so Alphabet Guy, that's what I was thinking of when he said game show. I was thinking of, I think it was called Singled Out, right? With Jenny McCarthy on it.
Yeah, that was... Yeah. Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey are like the original anti-vaxxers.
Yeah. They were anti-vaxxers before...
It was cool.
Before COVID.
They were in the... Yeah. Taxi Cab Confessions, that was a wild show.
Oh, Gen B with Batman, with the Adam West version. Batman was awesome.
How about you can't get a haircut? Would they let you grow your
yeah,
mullet?
because you wouldn't. It grows so slowly now.
A mullet?
No, you said until they lose again. Like,
oh, Real Sex on HBO was wild.
I could go a couple of months and it wouldn't look too bad.
Remember when the $6 Million Man? I had the $6 Million Man toy that was the tunnel with the abominable snowman in it. That was one of the first toys I ever had. He had a thing in the back of his head you could look through, and it like he had bionic vision. It was cool.
You have Josh Allen as your screensaver? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Such a good picture, too, with the
I knew I liked Gio.
Who do you think he would date out of you two?
Not
if you had to pick.
Nah, I'm too old for him.
All right, Gio wins.
I'm old enough to be his dad, probably. How old is he? 27?
Stretch Armstrong. We discussed that on the show once with Steve, and he had no idea what it was. We used to cut his arms off to get the goo out of him. This probably can't.
Still old enough to be his dad, technically.
I doubt you were.
I said technically. I said technically.
How old are you, Gio?
Works.
How old are you? Oh, 22.
You had to think about it.
I'm 51. I'm 31 years older than him. How old's your dad? Jeez. I am almost 10 years older than your dad. I met his dad last night.
I mean, I guess
I know, but still. MTV Sports with Dan Cortez, good one. Remember the Rock and Jock basketball and softball games? Those were awesome. What will you do if they win the national title? Nothing. He's a professional. I'm the only one here who's not professional and can grow facial hair and do weird things. They have jobs to do elsewhere. What do you think Matt Park's reaction is going to be when I walk in the booth with an earring? Hey, Steve, do you know what my dream artist of the day topic is?
I do. I'm not sure Giovanni knows.
If he's old enough to hear this or not. This song would make it.
Yeah.
Do you know what this song's called, Steve?
I do.
You're not going to say it?
No. It's all you.
It's called The Butt. D-A Butt. By EU. This was a banger. I want to do all butt day. Songs about butts.
I know you do.
Rump Shaker. The Butt. Baby Got Back. There's a million of them.
Okay. I know. I'm aware of this.
Maybe on my half birthday I could do that as a gift.
Your half birthday would be in December?
Yes, December
15th?
Yes.
December 15th. Okay. We'll keep it in mind.
Butt songs. Sorry, Gio. I apologize. You're filling in, and I'm here talking about butt songs.
Don't ever. This is your show. This is your show, Paul.
Fat Bottom Girls, another butt song. Good one.
All right. Gio's here for a game we like to call the match. Well, we don't like to call it. We kind of took the bit. It's called the match game.
Yes, it's nothing like the actual match game.
The music, similar.
This is pretty groovy.
Gio just established that he's 21, so he's 22. 22. So he is not familiar with the match game. You've never seen the match game.
I'm
right?
sure he doesn't know who Gene Rayburn is.
I've never seen the match game. I've seen you guys do the match game before.
What an honor.
And I'm trying to pull up my match game questions, but Google Sheets is not being extra cooperative at the moment.
Uh-oh.
But we'll be good to go. I'm not worried about it yet. I'll ask you the first one because I know the first one off the top of my head here. How many rushing yards does Ricky Collins amass against the Blue Devils?
Not a rushing quarterback, Paulie.
Yes.
He's not a rushing quarterback.
I think he's more mobile. Yeah, I think he's more mobile. But I think 15.
Okay. I had 19 in my head for some reason. I don't think it's going to be a ton, but I could see him scrambling a couple of times.
But the problem is, now that I think about it, if he gets sacked twice, that
so we're gonna do it by how the college does it. We're gonna take away the yardage.
I'm gonna say negative 10. They're not gonna run him.
So Steve says 15. Paulie says negative 10. I'm gonna say 14 to be different.
He's going like $1.
That's the opposite of match game.
We're not.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to match, but that's
okay. No, I'll say 15. We got a match. Well, that makes sense. there we go. Matt Park. All right. Syracuse plays of 30 or more yards. How many plays down the field of 30 or more yards will Syracuse have on Saturday?
30 or more yards. 2. I was gonna say 2 as well.
That's a match. I'll say 2.
All right. Good. Off to a good start here.
Syracuse created turnovers. How many turnovers will they create?
2. Because I think they're going to win and they're going to need that. So I got to go 2.
I think this game may come down to turnovers. I will say 1.
I say 1. 2 turnovers is a lot.
It is.
Who has more passing yards in this game? Ricky Collins or Darian Mensah?
I'll say Darian Mensah.
I'm going to say Ricky Collins. I'm going to go out on a limb.
All right. Steve says Mensah. Paulie says Collins. I'm going to go with Mensah. I think that's, Syracuse is going to be able to lean on the run game a little bit, and I don't know about Duke being able to do the same. I would agree with that. Anytime touchdown scorer for Syracuse, if you had to throw any player out there.
Anytime touchdown. I think the smart money is on a running back, right? So I'll say Willis will be
Willis.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. I'm gonna go with Daryl Gill. I think he's scored a lot of touchdowns.
I went out the box last week and said Dan Villari, and that did not happen. So I'm gonna play it safe.
There you go. How about Syracuse wow catches? Right, doesn't have to be like Randy Moss, but think about it. You had 2 last week that were on Moss. Moss was featured the week before when Daryl Gill won it, but it wasn't just that, right? Remember Justice Ross Simmons against UConn had that diving catch at the pylon. Whether that was the overtime catch. So it seems like they kind of do it week after week here. So how many wow type catches do you think you'll see?
I'm gonna go 1. Yeah, how many of those?
I'm gonna go 1.
All right, I agree. 1. Yeah, we'll see 1 of those.
This is the most we've ever matched in our lives.
There we go.
We are putting the match in match game.
Syracuse first drive touchdown. Will they be able to score a touchdown on the first drive or not?
Their first drive. See, I tend to think if they receive, they will. But if they don't,
why does that matter?
Because I feel like you have that scripted out.
Well, you're gonna have to script it out either way.
No, because you might not get the ball. You don't know where you're getting the ball.
I thought of it more as, does Ricky Collins lead a touchdown scoring drive on his first time touching the ball this game?
No.
I think the smart money's on no. He hasn't started a game in 3 years, so I think the smart money's on no.
Smart money's on no. I'm going to say no, too,
These
as much as you'd love to see it.
These are questions, but just making this super easy.
Yeah, you're right. I should have thought a little more outside the box, I guess.
See, now we got Tim Leonard has hit the perfect spot. You've made it too easy. Jordan made it impossible.
Right.
We're doing math in our heads. So.
That's okay. Easy's good. I like easy.
Syracuse, fourth down conversions. How many fourth down conversions will Syracuse's offense get on Saturday?
I hope you're not in that position, but I'll say 1.
I think this is a game that both coaches know that it's going to be one of these track meets, right? We saw it the other night with the Lions-Ravens. It felt like if it was 4th and 3 or shorter, you had to go for it. I think this is going to be one of those games. So I think both teams are going to go for it multiple times. I'll say 2 conversions.
2 conversions. Yeah, I'm going to go with 2. I think Fran has showed that he's willing to go for it pretty much anytime they're across midfield or close to midfield. So I think they go for it twice, and we'll see what ends up playing out. That's all I got for match game questions.
Okay, that's perfect.
We always end with the point spread. So, are they going to cover the spread? So the spread is what? Is it plus 6?
What's it sit at
I've
right
seen it
now?
4.5 to 6, depending on where you look.
I think Cuse wins by.
Oh, so you're saying Cuse wins? So that it doesn't even matter what the spread is.
Yeah. I think Cuse by 10.
Wow. What?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Eat it. Taste it, as Tim.
Taste it. Yeah.
Taste it, as Tim Leonard says.
Wow.
It's down to 4.5 right now.
Okay, I thought I saw 4.5. Oh man!
Didn't it open at like 6?
It was at 6. Yeah.
All right.
I'll say they cover.
I think they win the game.
Yeah.
So they cover because I think they win the game. I don't think they win by 10. That'd be nice though.
Maybe
we said that last week though.
Yeah. Who would have guessed a 13-point win over?
You guys
over
can
Clemson?
say I jinxed it if they lose, but I think they're going to win big.
I was waiting for Card Sharks. I'm glad we got the Card Sharks.
I want to defend myself a little bit, Steve.
Okay.
Because when you get the ball, you're probably getting on 35 now or whatever, 25, depending on if you. And you can script it out more. When there's a punt, you might get pinned back, and it takes your script out. You might get a turnover.
If you're pinned inside the 5, maybe it changes the play. But I think you're scripted either way. I mean, for the most part.
They may have scripts for everywhere where they start.
I do think that they're going to try to get.
Why is those Card Sharks
very loud.
So much louder than the other?
It's very loud. I do think they're going to try to get Ricky Collins off to a fast start. We heard Matt Park say it yesterday. Matt Park brought up the point that maybe they try a couple quick hitters right off the bat just to get him settled in, is completing a few passes. I would agree with that. I think the plays are, your first few plays are scripted. I think they're going to stick with those. They're going to be plays they worked on that they feel good about. They want Ricky to get comfortable, get off to a good start. So that's why I said I don't know that it matters if they get the ball first or if they receive it from a punt.
I think the thing with the short intermediate game as well is Duke has been super susceptible to allowing big plays in the screen game and those short intermediate passes. So you mix that with those being the easy completions for Ricky Collins, that might be a big part of the game plan.
Florida guy taking over as producer of the show asks a great question. How many interceptions does Ricky Collins throw? I think he's going to throw 1.
Yeah.
I think he'll throw a pick, yeah.
Yeah, again, I think the smart money is on he's going to make some mistakes, and you hope that those mistakes don't kill you. And if you throw a bad ball, you hope that it doesn't get picked or you hope that it's dropped. But, yeah, I think, we should all expect him to make a few mistakes, and you hope they can overcome it.
You know what one of the keys to the game was yesterday, Steve?
It was Ricky, don't lose that football. Football or fumble?
Fumble.
Okay.
But football works too. Ricky, don't lose that football. Ricky, don't lose
That's
that
better
number.
Because then it applies to fumbles and interceptions.
Yes, good one.
Don't lose them.
You've won up to me. I like it. I'm glad I brought this up. Your on-the-fly wit is amazing.
That's what I'm known for.
We got more Giovanni next.
Yes, we do. Today's business. We'll get to it on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Water.
Should I wear a hoop or a stud? Stud. Jeez.
What do you think?
I like the hoop.
Do you?
Gold,
Well,
the
go
gold
for it.
hoop. What do you guys think? Hoop
You're
or
here.
stud? Hoop. Hoop, you ho. Big, not a big hoop. Not like a bamboo hoop. I used to wear the gold. I used to wear the gold hoop. Hopefully they win so we can point it out to Fran Brown in our next interview that we. What if I wore like a Barry Bonds cross? Those were dope. I did that a couple times, not gonna lie. I don't have my nose pierced. And I'm not about to go to Claire's Boutique again. That's where I got my ear pierced, Steve.
Somebody said you should get your nose pierced?
Yeah. I think my nipples have healed over. Sorry, Steve. I said nipples. I can't believe you won't say butt.
I don't mind saying butt. I mean, what? Like, butt. You feel better now? Like, I wasn't not going to say it. Just, it's
No,
your...
you were not going to say it.
No, I wasn't. It was
What
fine.
would DJ Blank have said if he had to introduce that
I
song?
would have said it.
Here's Da Butt by EU.
Yeah, I would have.
Cut that butt. Cut that. I was just thinking about Ryan Mullen, like, if he put my head on Maynard G. Krebs, it probably wouldn't look that different. What about Steve says derriere? That's funny. What if I put that in the open? But there, I said it. You happy? But
Whatever you got to do.
rump, tush, tookus, fanny.
Will you just stop?
What's your fanny?
I told
buttocks.
I told Tim the other day that one day one of us are going to be on the air with Paulie and he's going to say something that's going to take us all down with the shit.
No, dude, I've been doing this 30 years. I am not taking anybody down. I don't touch anything controversial. If I swear on the air, that's not going to take anybody down but me.
True.
Steve's the one that's going to bring us down. We're going to find out he's a serial killer and none of us knew about it. Got bodies in his basement. Posterior.
The bodies in my basement? Is that what you said?
Yeah. And people be like, he was such a nice guy. I had no idea. Of all the people that you've done Orange Nation with, who do you think is the most likely to be a serial killer? Booty me.
Serial killer. I thought you were going to say who is most likely to take us down.
Guys, why is there half Mexican food and half schedule on this?
Half what?
Our chat our video screen right now has half Mexican food and half
because there's like a new Mexican food ad.
Yeah, but it's not the full ad.
I ask Paul. I'm in here. That's true. It's just the
Steve
food
is
part.
bringing down our ratings. That is a burn. Ouch. Ouch. Steve, do you need me to put a Band-Aid on you? For
I'm
that
good.
boo-boo.
I'm good.
And we're here to rock. Rhymes like ours could never be stopped. It's 5 of us, and I know we're
This could be the worst song ever written, but it's awesome at the same time.
The F is for Fatima, and the D is for Dania.
Just let it cook. You gotta let them cook.
Now here's a little something about nosy people. It's not real hard, it's plain and simple, baby D.
You ready, Steve?
I am ready.
Supersonic. Supersonic.
JJ Fad, Supersonic, 1988 one-hit wonder.
And everybody knows it.
Did you know that this money they made from this album was the first album off of the record label that was NWA? So
is that
this
right?
song made so much money that they were able to pay for the NWA album.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ruthless Records? Is that what
Yeah,
sure.
That's right.
There you go.
But then they turned that was the whole NWA feud was over Ruthless Records, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this is
When
how
Ice
they
Cube
paid
left,
for it.
yeah.
Eazy-E produced this song, I believe, or he and Dr. Dre, and they used the money
And that
to create
led to NWA falling apart,
Yeah.
right? Eventually.
They left that out of the movie.
Supersonic, dude.
How about that? I didn't know that. That's an interesting
I
nugget.
learned that on the there's a great podcast called The Year in Hip Hop 1988, and it's amazing.
See, I like nuggets like that.
It's hosted by Will Smith, who's completely gone off the deep end, by the way.
I enjoy when you drop in those nuggets. You know, like I mentioned Trip Woody's range being 53 yards. I thought that it was on the same level as what you just mentioned. But I appreciate you coming at us with that,
I don't think I've
that
ever
musical knowledge.
I don't think I've ever said the term "let them cook" and it worked better than JJ Fad.
You actually sounded cool saying
Yeah,
that.
it was like, hold on. I know it's slow now. Just let them cook. Let the cake bake.
All right. Today's business, Gio. What do you got for us today?
Yeah. First and foremost, I think you got to start with college football. And I know we talk a lot of college football, but looking across the national landscape, this weekend's slate might be the best of the entire season. I know week 1 was good. Week 2 had some games, but this week 5 slate is unbelievable. It starts on Friday night, which is tonight. Number 8, Florida State on the road at Virginia. Now, most years you're looking at that as a sleepier ACC game, but Virginia's look pretty good. I think they have the most underrated quarterback in the ACC in Chandler Morris. I don't know what kind of a crowd they'll draw in Charlottesville just because those fans don't necessarily pack Scott Stadium regardless of who the opponent is. But this is an interesting one in our conference with Florida State and Virginia going at it. Number 24, TCU, plays at Arizona State in the nightcap tonight, and that's just Friday. Tomorrow, the onslaught of games really never stops all the way through. You got 21 USC at 23 Illinois. 22 Notre Dame at Arkansas is a fascinating game. Number 1 Ohio State goes to Seattle to play Washington, which I know a lot of people would sit here and say that's nothing crazy, but Washington's 3-0, and the decibels recorded inside that stadium are the loudest in college football history, according to most people that pay attention to that. So that's a factor. You got number 4 LSU at 13 Ole Miss. You got Auburn at number 9 Texas A&M. You got number 6 Oregon at number 3 Penn State. You got 17 Alabama at number 5 Georgia. I mean, it's stacked. It's stacked, especially with that Oregon, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia going on at the same time with the primetime slot.
I like the LSU Ole Miss game. That one piques my interest.
Why is that?
Couple of big name matchups, SEC game, like it. I like that one. But I'm going over right now. You know what another game interests me is Georgia Tech Wake Forest. I don't know why I got a vibe on that one.
Wake's not good.
I know they're not, but I got a vibe on that one. So keep that in mind that I said. Wake might.
They might not. Don't be surprised if they win.
Yes, don't be surprised if they win, but I think they're going to cover.
Don't be surprised if they win the game. I want to go back to that Florida State Virginia game because again, as you said, a lot of people might look at it as an afterthought. Again, Vegas thinks it's going to be close. I think it's 6.5 is the spread, which is a little bit surprising. And you look at Florida State's schedule, and its season feels like it comes down to next week, right? Again, they play Miami next week. And I think we all just assume the Canes are going to run the table. And I think if you look at other team schedules, there's probably going to be another undefeated team. I think Georgia Tech has a really good chance to run the table as well. So if Florida State has designs on making it back to the college football playoff, it comes down to this game. I mean, the rest of the way after Miami, it's Pitt, Stanford, Wake, Clemson, which we don't know if Clemson's good or not. Vatech, NC State. Sorry, with Vatech,
right.
NC State, and then you close out with Florida. So if they could beat Miami, you're looking at they're probably going to go to the ACC title game and be in line for a bid to the college football playoff. So I guess I say all that to come back and say, are they looking ahead? Are they caught? Are we all collectively looking ahead to, well, they're going to take care of Virginia and then set up that matchup and that showdown with Miami. So I think that is a game to keep your eye on. It's a Friday night game on the road in conference, a team that's playing well. Everything that you laid out, Gio, I think that's a game to keep your eye on.
Yeah, the only thing that doesn't scare you if you're Florida State is like, what kind of a crowd is Virginia going to draw? Because they don't really show up even for some of the bigger ones. They struggle to fill that stadium. I've been to plenty of Virginia Tech, Virginia games in that stadium. That's a big deal to them. Like, I think the Virginia fan base cares more about playing Virginia Tech than pretty much any other game on the schedule, and it's still filled with Virginia Tech fans in that stadium.
Interesting.
So you just wonder, and Florida State fans will travel, especially because they're in the top 10.
I hope for the ACC Florida State wins.
Yes. it'd be bad for the league.
Because they got to play Miami next week. And you want that to be a marquee match.
Yeah, sure. You want it to be a big game. And then whoever wins that one is certainly going to have the massive inside track to get into the ACC title game.
Do you guys have like a top bucket list spot? Because my top bucket list spot would be a primetime whiteout at Penn State. And you get that here with number 6 Oregon in town. And I think Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback's probably the Heisman frontrunner at this point with the Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer undergoing hand surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be pretty sweet. Number 6 Oregon, number 3 Penn State, the whiteout. If you had to pick one spot to go see a game, where would it be?
Oh, ever?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I didn't get to go to LSU. That Death Valley would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something in the SEC. I think,
yeah.
to me,
I've been to Auburn. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's Alabama would be wild, but
I'm trying to think back. I don't think I've ever been
I think I'd like to go to the Loud House, too. I've never been to Michigan. That was the year before.
The Big House?
The
Loud House.
The Loud House is Syracuse.
I was like,
Big House.
Yeah. I would say anything in the SEC. I don't think, obviously I covered the Syracuse-Tennessee game. That was in Atlanta. I don't think I've ever been to an SEC stadium before. Trying to think.
I went to Vanderbilt. That barely counts.
Oh, it's a great city.
Michigan.
Nashville.
I turned 21 the day of the game.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Yeah, I bet it was. That's
Michigan, LSU. I've been to Notre Dame. I'll be there again this year probably. Those are my 2.
Bucket list for me was, from a basketball perspective, was Cameron, but we've done that.
Ooh, that's a good one too. Basketball-wise.
There's a lot
I'd like to go to Indiana. Think that'd be fun.
Have you been to the Yum Center? Yum Center's pretty sweet.
Multiple times.
I haven't seen it packed because Louisville was dreadful.
Oh yeah, that place was nuts. I'm sold. I was at Rupp Arena too. So
I was gonna say Fog Allen in Kansas is a good one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
certainly.
I've been to a game basically in Kansas, but that was at like the Sprint Arena back when Sprint was a thing.
Not at their home facility there.
All right, so really quickly here, do we have a guest coming up?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No, we're just hanging out with me longer.
Good. My kicker. We did the Oxford Dictionary, which is, the words added. Now we're going to do the America Dictionary. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary has added new words. Let's see if you guys can guess them. I'm sure Gio can because he's a youngster. Beast mode has been added to the dictionary.
Beast mode. It's like you're awesome. It's like you're just killing it. You're crushing
energetic, extreme style that someone adopts. He needed to go beast mode to crush that hot
I've used
dog
that in a
eating
sentence
contest.
before. I've used beast mode.
Josh Allen goes beast mode.
Yes, he does.
That's when Steve says it.
Yeah, that was the example they gave. He needed to go beast mode to crush that hot dog eating contest. All right. Dad bod.
Yeah. I think you and I both know what that is. Yeah.
Physique regarded to a typical average father. I don't think I have a dad bod.
I didn't
Slightly overweight with and not.
You get to a certain age though, and it just kind of happens.
Example: Harry rocked a dad bod even before the birth of his first child. Paulie's
not a compliment.
This
for him.
one I've never heard of. Dumb phone.
I got nothing.
I've never heard of that either.
A cell phone that does not include advanced software, so like a wall phone.
So it's not. It's the opposite of a smartphone.
Yeah, so like your wall phone, your landline is a dumb phone.
No, because it says, didn't it say a cell phone?
Is the definition?
Oh, yeah, it is. A cell phone. So it's like
a flip phone.
So it's got to be like, okay, so like when
a burner phone.
If your grandparent still has like an iPhone 4, that would be a dumb phone.
The Zach Morris phone from Saved by the Bell. That would be a dumb phone.
Want to get really lost? Destroy your smartphone and buy a burner dumb phone.
Did Tom Brady do
head
that?
For the hills.
Tom Brady do that?
I don't know.
The deflator?
Farm to table. You know what that is?
Yes.
That's when you go farm to restaurant, farm to table.
Right.
So it's
Leave out the
basically
middleman.
cuts out the middleman.
Yes.
Hard pass.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a hard no.
Take a hard pass. Yeah.
The egg salad's been in the sun for 6 hours.
Absolutely. Hard pass.
That's a hard pass
for
me, Susie said.
Yes.
Love language.
Yeah, right.
My love language is
food,
burning
touch.
you until you cry.
Acts of service.
Mine are
Acts of
insults.
service, yes.
Charlie's dating profile says his love language is making mac and cheese. That's not a love language.
That's food, yes. Food is a love language.
I didn't know food was a love language.
Mine is sarcasm and insults.
That is definitely not a love language.
Riz.
Riz, yes.
That's like
romantic appeal and charm.
I was going to say it's like style, right?
Giovanni Heater has tons of Riz. That's the example they give. Side eye. This is ridiculous.
I mean, these are all obvious. Wait, give us one that we might not know.
Teraflop is the last one. I don't know.
Spell it.
T-E-R-A.
Origin of language.
T-E-R-A-F-L-O-P. Teraflop.
I don't know what that means. It sounds like a dinosaur.
It does.
It's a unit of measurement for calculating the speed of a computer. Equal to 1 trillion floating point operations per section.
Okay.
Cough up enough teraflops to let me bed rot with my PlayStation.
Okay, that is today's business brought to you every day by Superior Plus Propane. And with that, let's...
A New York minute could be now referred to as a teraflop.
All right, let's get a quick phone call in.
Our new voice guy.
Stefan in Utica.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
Stefan, what's going on?
Stefan, do you want to be the voice guy of the station for a day?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. You're listening. Can you say you're listening to the Rich Eisen show?
No, I'm not.
All right.
What do you got for us today?
Well, the backup quarterback for Syracuse football, how is he going to do the rest of the year? And can he hold down the fort? And can the other quarterbacks on the roster hold down the fort?
It is a great question, and it is the $1 million question facing this team right now. Literally the $1 million question facing this team right now. I think we're going to get some semblance of an answer tomorrow, but I would caution people that it might take Ricky Collins a game or two to feel comfortable and to get things going. So if tomorrow doesn't go well, I don't think it's a throw up your hands on the rest of the season. But I tend to think that they're going to be okay with the quarterback position.
I do too, Steve. Did you know that in 1864, General William Tecumseh forged the term, hold down the fort?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
He said it, hold down the fort against all odds at Altoona.
Huh.
Hold down the fort till I get there.
And it's stuck for almost 200 years.
Yes, so there you go.
You think we'll still be saying it in 2064?
As long as there's forts to hold down, we'll be saying it.
Okay. Fair enough. I do think they're going to be okay at the quarterback position. We'll take a time out here. We'll get to our pick segment on the other side. We're back after this on ESPN Radio.
That was instant knowledge right there. I was quicker than Google.
So how does the NFL picks work? Like Tim said, we
pick
all
three.
of them in, and you pick what
We
games
just pick
you want?
3 games.
Yeah, we picked 3.
You get to pick 2 if you want.
Okay.
Praise my knowledge of hold down the fort that I Googled.
I really liked the Seahawks last night. I'm saying that, but I actually did.
I was thinking that too. Is the hold down the fort like a white guy phrase?
feel like, yes, if I said that, you would make it fun. You would say, like, dag nabbit, hold down the fort.
Yeah, I just say, I've cut the fort. I just say hold it down now. Hold it down.
Let him cook.
You say that to kids that are acting up, though. Hold it down. That's your
pipe down.
I'm having deja vu right now.
About what? This conversation?
Yeah.
Steve, we don't get to watch the Bills play an exciting game for like 4 weeks. Maybe
Let's
it's a
hope.
bad thing. Yeah. True.
Yeah, I mean, they found a way to make that Dolphins game interesting.
Yeah, divisional game. Dolphins were playing for everything.
I know. Still, though.
I never was worried the whole game, I guess.
I felt the same way.
I didn't really feel like it was in jeopardy. And even if it was, it's like, the Chiefs and the Ravens are both 1-2, so we're still sitting pretty. I can't believe one of those teams is going to be 1-3.
I know.
That feels wrong. And I hope it's the Chiefs. I saw a clip the other day that actually I could probably pull it up.
I think I was going to say, I think the Ravens are probably a bigger problem for the Bills than the Chiefs are, but
I agree. Who knows? The Chargers.
Oh, right. The Chargers look good.
This just felt too real. Like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be our luck?
I would not be able to get over that.
No. I guess I better look at what games I would pick. So the concept.
Can I pick the Seattle game that you?
I think we both felt good about it. You want to just give us both a win?
So do you have to pick 3 different games?
No,
Or you
we
guys
just
can
pick
agree?
whatever we
Okay.
like.
I kind of like. NFL spreads are so hard. They're always so close.
Flip the page, Steve. In case you couldn't follow the directions.
Paul was making fun of me for that too.
Is that what I do here? I didn't know that I needed to flip. I actually can't flip the page. Struggling with it. There we go.
I just wanted you to know there were more options on the back.
Yeah, somehow everybody else makes it fit onto one page.
Yeah.
You need to use smaller font, not double spaced. The hell's wrong with you?
I don't know. I tried to make it look nice. This was my first rundown.
Baker Mayfield playing because I saw that he was on the injury report.
Oh, I did not know that.
I wouldn't touch that Ravens Chiefs game with a 10-foot pole. Slow skate, Steve, as we go into our NFL picks. We've broken down Syracuse Duke enough for take a little time off. This is Brenda K. Starr, I Still Believe, Steve. This was not on my mixtape.
No.
The hook of this is a banger, though.
Is this a roll down the window and belt it at the top of your lungs at the stoplight?
This feels like a sunroof.
Yeah.
Paulie's hanging out of the top of the sunroof.
Yeah, I would sing this in a car. Yeah. You know what song gets me in the car every time? Manic Monday.
Was that the song when you were returning your rental car?
No, that was Stevie B. The mailman song. Oh my God, that was so embarrassing. I gotta tell the story now. I was listening to Stevie B, the mailman song, in my rental car, and I got out of the car and my Bluetooth was still locked into it, and it was so loud in the garage. But the lady laughed because she turned the car on and it was just
blaring,
and it was humiliating. Steve,
that's really funny. That's really funny.
I'll pull up the mailman song so we can bump out with it.
Okay, let's get to our pick segment here. Where do we want to start? Who do you want to start? You want me to go first?
Go first, Steve.
Okay. I know this is a lot of spread. Browns are 9.5-point underdogs at the Lions. I think that the Browns, I know their defenses look good to this point. Their offense is atrocious, and the Lions can score at will against pretty much anybody. I'm not concerned about the Browns defense when it comes to that Lions offense. It's a home game for Detroit. They're coming off a big win. They've really got it back on track after kind of stubbing their toe in week 1. I think the Lions just clobber the Browns. So I'll do the 9.5 points. I'll take Detroit.
Kind of following that trend with you with big spreads. 15.5 is huge, but Buffalo's favored by 15.5 at home against the New Orleans Saints. I think it comes down to the fact that the Bills have scored 30 or more in every game so far this season. They did that against the Jets with Josh Allen not accounting for a touchdown. They've shown an ability to score in so many different ways. The run game has become super dominant. And the Saints, on paper, are one of the worst teams in the National Football League through the first 3 weeks to this point. So I know 15.5 feels gargantuan, but the Bills have been scoring a lot. And the Saints have not. So I'm going to go with Buffalo to cover the 15.5 at home.
Bills by 100.
I love wordy picks. You guys give wordy picks, and I just say, you know what? I think
it is a full segment.
I know. I tend to think the Chargers are pretty good, and the Giants aren't. Give me the Chargers minus 6.5 at New York.
No Jackson Dart debut for you?
No.
It's interesting that it's within 7. I was a little surprised by that, and so that has caused me to pause. That you see that the Chargers are only 6.5, and then it wasn't over 7 or over. So I don't know. That caused me to kind of look at it and be like, do I really want to go in that direction? But
yeah.
I'm with you. I think the Chargers win the game. We'll have to see if Jackson Dart can keep it close. This Texans-Titans game I find intriguing. Texans are favored by 7.5 at home. Both offenses have struggled. I think the Titans have a pretty good defense, and I know that I learned this from Jordan. Jordan says that if it's like 7.5 over the key number, if it's a half point above the key number, they're baiting you. Vegas is baiting you to take the underdog in this case. They're baiting me to take the Titans. I'm going to take the bait. I think this is going to be a relatively low-scoring game. I think the Titans could keep it within that touchdown.
Wow. All right. I think the next one I'm going to take is Commanders at Falcons. And I don't think I would have said that a week ago. I was impressed with the Falcons' defense through the first 2 weeks of the season. But Michael Penix's performance at quarterback last week really had them struggling. He ends up getting benched during the game. And really, when you look at things for the first 3 weeks of the year, Michael Penix has struggled. That offense has struggled. And, it's not fantasy football, right? On the other side, Commanders likely going to be without Jaden Daniels. This week, he actually talked to the media. Last week, they had Marcus Mariota do it. And you really knew that you weren't going to see Jaden Daniels play. It's still up in the air. I think even if Marcus Mariota is the starting quarterback, that team is built well enough where they can go win without him. And then when it's a 1.5 point spread, the way I've always looked at football is like, how often does a team win by 1, right? You might as well just pick them to cover the 1.5, right? So I'm going to take the Commanders to go win in Atlanta by 1.5 or better.
Jaguars are looking good this year. Competitive with the Bengals. 49ers are better than them still by more than 3.5. So I'm going to take 49ers minus 3.5 against the Jags. That's your breakdown. Thank you.
Okay. Man, where do I want to go? I think for the last one, I'm going to go to Vikings Steelers. I want to see how you feel about this pick, Paulie.
I don't like it.
Steelers are the underdog, 2.5 points. It's a game in Ireland. You really never know what to expect with these games that are overseas. The Vikings, like, defensively, they're good. They're banged up on offense. Aaron Jones is out. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy's out. You always tell me Steelers are going to steal it, and they're getting some points here. So give me the Steelers.
I don't think this year's Steelers team are going to steal her, but I don't know.
I don't think the Vikings are that good. I really don't.
Their Steelers defense has been bad.
Very un-Steeler-like.
Yes.
But you're going to pick an O'Connell to lose in Ireland?
It's gonna stay. They're gonna stay within the point. The Vikings might win by 2 or 1.
All right,
give me the points. Steelers plus 2.5.
Don't be surprised if the Steelers win.
Exactly. Don't be surprised if they win.
There you go. Oh, my next game. This is tough. Like Ravens Chiefs, you don't feel like you want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'll go with the Eagles at Buccaneers game. This is a fascinating one because these two teams have been winning by the skin of their teeth so far this year. The Eagles were way behind in the first half last week against the Rams. They complete the comeback. They get the win. The Buccaneers have done a lot of that as well. They did it against the Jets last week where they almost coughed the game up with the blocked field goals and whatnot, and the Buccaneers find a way to win. So for whatever reason, these two teams are making it happen late. Something has to give this week. They're both undefeated. I think they're two of the better teams in the NFC. But it's in Tampa Bay. It's not in Philly. I think that would have really changed how I look at this game. Eagles feel like they're getting a good chunk at 3.5. Give me Baker Mayfield. There's going to be no Mike Evans. He's hurt. But give me Baker Mayfield to really get everything cooking. He's had a nice connection. Emeka Ibuka's really like emerged as wide receiver 1 there.
He's been great.
Yeah. So give me Baker and company to hand the Eagles their first loss.
All right, I'll end things up with the Packers-Cowboys. Give me the Packers minus 6.5. It's going to be sad days in Jerryland for the whole season. For the Cowboys, is the Micah Parsons game is going to be a humbling experience for those who like the big silver star.
And the Packers are coming off that loss to Cleveland, that head-scratching loss, so they're going to be in a really bad mood. I thought about that one as well. You're taking the Packers, I assume?
Yes, that's what I said. Packers minus 6.5.
I like that pick.
To the show.
I like that pick.
While I was talking.
I was looking at my rundown.
Okay. It's okay for you.
Tuning you out.
Yes, it's okay when you tune people out, but when I do it,
No, you were tuning out a guest or a caller. I was just tuning you out, which is allowed.
It's unfortunate that for Cowboys fans that the defense is so poor because their offense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Steve Gio said something prior to the show to me, and I'm willing to do it if you're willing to do it. I don't know which one of us is which. But he said that you and I are Ernie and Bert. And now, would you dress up as Ernie and Bert for Halloween with me?
Yeah, because apparently I have the shirt already, right? Didn't you? One of those shirts.
No, is he Bert or is he Ernie?
Oh, now this is...
I think I'm Ernie.
I think you're Bert.
No, I think you're Bert.
I don't want to be Bert.
No, you're Bert and he's Ernie for sure.
Why'd you say it like that? Because for sure.
No, because Ernie's the goofy one and the...
I mean, they're both
one
kind of goofy. Well, okay.
They're definitely both... Bert is a little more buttoned up and...
Okay.
And I think...
That's a nice way to put it.
Ernie pesters Bert, right? And it seems like you get frustrated with Paulie.
That's fair.
I think you're Bert and he's Ernie. And that's... It's a compliment that you guys have created such a chemistry.
People are saying it's not even in question that I'm Ernie and you're Bert.
I don't want to be Bert.
What about C-3PO and R2-D2?
It doesn't hit the same.
See, for me, I think like the way that you explain it, it seems spot on when you explain it like that, the way you do. But I'll do either. I'll do whatever you want.
In C-3PO and R2-D2, you would be
R2-D2. He's dead. He's C-3PO in life, like in reality.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, you have the same big long head as Bert, according to the chat.
Lovely. I love where this is going. Okay. Who brought this up? You brought this? Oh, he brought it up before the show. Okay. Thanks a lot, Gio.
I'm sorry.
Do I have permission to fire him, or is that?
No, I can handle it though if you ask.
Only if it's within the 2 hours you work here, though. Steve.
You can bring it to my attention and we can discuss it. Just
and
like
then you would have the power to fire him, but I wouldn't. Okay, all right, gotcha. All right. We will take our final timeout. We'll wrap up the show, wrap up the week next on ESPN Radio.
I feel like I heard this last night.
I need a diet.
Picture window.
More attractive? Is that why? That's what
He's like more fun. He's like, you know.
I was wondering, like,
Because Bird is kind of like whiny and like.
Yeah, I shouldn't have thoughts like that in my head, but now I was like, does Steve think Ernie's more attractive?
No, I just think Bird is like, he's like a wet
I tend
blanket.
to think Ernie
He's like,
is more
Wet
attractive.
blanket.
He's a more attractive Muppet than
he
Bird.
is. I would agree with that. But that's not why. I don't know. Like
I do remember the Great Space Course. Come on, Spatch of the Weeks. How you clearly haven't been around the show enough to know that whenever somebody says good news is, I always say no news is good news. I literally got a targeted ad for a Gary Gnu t-shirt and I sent it to Jordan and Steve.
Is there like a rain delay going on at the Ryder Cup?
No, it sounds like an ass kick it is though.
Because I feel like the scores are not updating. Maybe they're just playing slow. Doesn't look like it's in a rain delay. Is Tim doing a show today?
Yeah.
He's coming back to do his show. Who's on the board tomorrow? Do you know, Paulie?
Paul.
Okay.
Paul or Matt? Well, Matt Slocum. One of them.
Oh, really? I didn't.
I mean, you could read the schedule that's on the door on the way out.
I just figured I would ask the guy who made the schedule.
I make millions of schedules, Steve. You heard me before the show started. I'm freaking worried about the crunch right now.
I just applied for credentials last night. I'm right there with you.
Never ends.
No.
Oh,
Especially
I
this
gotta
time.
open up the random year generator. What year were you born?
2003.
National championship. When were you born?
August 31st.
Okay. Well, that would make sense because you and Emma were in the same class because she was born 3 weeks before the title.
Oh,
Or no,
really?
no, 3 weeks after the title. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. She was born.
I wish I would do that. I can't even imagine.
I was there. Yeah, were you there, Steve?
I told you, I think I was like the only person in Syracuse that didn't see the block live because I was on the set doing a sportscast live when that happened.
Steve, what's going to hit harder for you, the 03 Natty or a Bills Lombardi?
Oh, for sure, the Bills.
Really?
100%.
Really?
100%.
I thought you would say Q's.
No.
We did 86 and 88, right?
Yeah.
So far, I got to write that down.
Just because of all the heartbreak with the Bills?
Well, so I mean, because I cover SU, like I can't be a fan of SU. So like the Bills are the one team that I'm truly a fan of.
Yeah, that's how I always felt about Virginia Tech, and then so now I'm like not even that much of a fan.
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely. I mean, when you do it for a living, it definitely changes your feeling toward the team.
Right.
Oh, I didn't do this. I didn't play the. We wrap things up with Boy Meets World. Waiting for a Star to Fall. Do you know this song was written because they were at I know this off the top of my head, they were at a Whitney Houston concert and a shooting star went behind the stage and they came up with it.
Oh, yeah? That's cool. Inspiration.
So, Boy Meets Girl. I forgot to play this. We'll do a little housekeeping here. I did not play this. This was the song that was bumping on my car stereo. It's called the Postman song, not the Mailman song.
We got to get to the chorus.
It's called Because I Love You.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the song, Gio?
No, I don't believe
all right,
so.
So you got to get to the...
You got to let it cook.
Got to get to the chorus. So imagine Paulie returning his rental car.
I get out of the car. I'm walking away. And my car is on Bluetooth. You can laugh all you want, guys. That is a banger of a song.
It is. That's just really funny.
I was listening to it at like Mach levels. Like
I would be embarrassed if that
do you
happened.
know what
to me.
else I listen to? Is Timmy T's One More Try. If that comes on, I am
same thing.
Throwing that up at all sorts of loudness.
All right, Paulie.
So 1987 is what came up.
1987. Okay.
So
Final Four year for Syracuse basketball.
Undefeated Syracuse
That's
football.
right.
Yeah. It was a great year. So we've got that.
Can you do the...
This is another one that I listen to super loud in my mix.
Can we play the Syracuse basketball song from that year? Can they do a parody song to We Didn't Start the Fire?
How in the hell am I going to find that?
I don't know. I feel like that exists. It must exist online somewhere. That was definitely a one-hit wonder.
But what year was the Cuses in the House OMG? That was the 90s,
That was
right?
the 96
John
Final
Wallace?
Four. Yep.
Yeah.
Were you seeing any
Which is
good?
why I've brought this. This is a pet peeve of mine. When people say the Cuse, it's just Cuse. It's just Cuse is in the house, or it's just, Cuse football.
So
it's not the Cuse. It's not the Syracuse. It's just Cuse.
This is some one-hit wonders from 1987. Ronnie's Rap. You remember that? It was Ronald Reagan. Someone doing a Ronald Reagan impersonation.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Keep Your Hands to Yourself by the Georgia Satellites. That's a banger. Bruce Willis. Did you know he had a song, Steve?
I did not.
Respect Yourself. That was big. Heartbreak Beat by this. Oh, Boom Boom. You know what that song's about, Steve?
Yeah.
Boom Boom. Let's Go Back to My Room.
Yep.
Fascinated by Company B. You remember that one?
I don't remember that. I mean, I'm sure that I remember the song. I'm sure I remember. I just don't know it by the title. Do you want me to lie to you?
Yes.
Do you want me to lie to you and say yes?
That's a great one.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember this song.
Living on a Prayer was 87.
Yeah, that's not a one-hit wonder.
Oh, it has to be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
Casanova, you brought that up. That's on this list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Catch Me, I'm Falling.
Oh, Don't Disturb This Groove by The System. You know what that song's about,
Yeah,
Steve?
I do. Yep.
That's that. Man, they were really horned up in 1987. Silent Morning by Noel is a good one.
Heart and Soul by T-Pow.
Yeah. Breakout by Swing Out Sister.
You've got a lot to choose from here.
Yeah, this is a good year. It was a good year.
You know what, Paulie? I say this on occasion every so. Lean on Me's on this list. This was a good idea. The one-hit wonders, this was a good idea.
So 1987.
Because I told you to do the whole decade, and you were like, Steve, it'll be fine. Let's do it year by year. You were right. I don't say it often, but you were right.
Yeah, there's a lot of one-hit wonders. Squeeze, Hourglass, another one.
Okay, we're out of time. Tim is coming back for drive time at 5 o'clock, so be sure to tune in. And then why don't you set the stage for us tomorrow, Paulie, the schedule for
Starting
Syracuse
at 9
football.
o'clock. If you're listening on ESPN Radio, you'll hear Gio Heater and Mike McAllister do the radio show. Q Sports Talk will have Gomez. That'll also be on TK99, 10 o'clock, Gio Heater from Shaughnessy's. Will be then, and then 11 will be you and Mike McAllister. Learfield broadcast starts at 10, TK99, ESPN, AM 1200. I did that off the top of my head. I don't know. You were yelling at me for not knowing the schedule off the top of my head. I only make 6,000 of them every day.
Vast responsibilities.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got complete coverage tomorrow. Final thought, Gio?
You want to know who's DJing and board hopping on Sunny, too? Because I can tell you that. You need that. You want to know who's working the ESPN Utica shifts?
You have many jobs.
Who's running the Bills game on K-Rock? You want me to tell you?
I just want you to tell
I don't know.
Who's running the board? Who's running the board tomorrow for the pregame show? That's all I was wondering.
Matt S.
Okay.
Wood chipper Matt, as we call him.
Okay.
My final thought was just that I received multiple texts that confirmed Paulie is definitely Ernie. I think it's more of a Paulie thing, though.
Yeah, he's more handsome.
Right.
Ernie is more handsome.
Don't say right. He's agreeing with you.
Yes.
No, I don't like how Bert is.
You've got a big, long head. And a weird hairdo.
I feel like Bert's always complaining, and I don't always
And
complain.
I am handsome.
No, but Ernie pushes the buttons. Like, have you seen
That's
that
true.
skit where,
Yes.
yeah, he's
Rubber ducky,
would you
you're the one.
fill my water
pretty
for
good.
me? And he does it like 8 times. Like that, Ernie's
the
gets
instigator.
annoyed. Yeah,
I get that. All right, that's okay. I'll allow it.
I will go by Ernie is more attractive, and that's why it's happening. And that's why everybody votes that way. Thank you.
Whatever you say. We got to go.
Thank you.
For Gio, for Paulie, I'm Steve. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again on Monday.